Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Tuesday. This is Game Day Live, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios here in beautiful New Jersey and Chicago, Illinois. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network as the Devils are taking on the BJs, the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight in Columbus. How are you, Vinnie? Big game tonight.
I'm doing great, Sam. It's been a long time coming. The Devils are playing the Blue Jackets. I'm excited about it. They're getting to play Johnny Gaudreau. There are some trade things going on across the league as a whole right now. I know we're really starting to see hot stove season really start to heat up. It's coming. We already saw it with Bo Horvat going to the New York Islanders and Vladimir Tarasenko going to the New York Rangers. Well, we're waiting for the other Metropolitan playoff contender to make a move here. And, there are all sorts of different talks. And Gavrikov, the pretty good defenseman for the Columbus Blue Jackets, he's a healthy scratch tonight for trade-related reasons. We're seeing that over in Arizona with Jakub Chikrin and stuff like that. So, it's getting going right now. It's an exciting time to be a hockey fan. We just had the Super Bowl come to a close. That means we know that, the stretch run of the NHL season is coming, and few people are more excited about it than us.
Yeah, and you know what, Vinny? The whole Gaudreau thing adds to a little bit of the storyline tonight because Gaudreau ghosting Tom Fitzgerald last summer. Okay, we had our fun when the Devils beat the Blue Jackets at Prudential Center. But, this game, I wouldn't say it's a trap game, but it's a game you have to win. It's a game that you have to win. Because right now, the Devils, if you look at their schedule, 7 games in 12 days, it seems like it's one after the other every other day, except for the weekend where you're bookend with Pittsburgh on Saturday. And who are they playing on Sunday? I forgot on top of my head.
Sunday, actually.
Is it Winnipeg Jets? Is it Winnipeg?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and leading into that February 25th, which we've been hyping it up on this podcast the last 4 weeks, our 500,000 party. And we'll make the official announcement tomorrow, I guess. But we crossed the 500,000 mark of podcasts of downloads of our podcast, and we're going to definitely celebrate. DJ Shelley will be there. That's our DJ. It's going to be all sorts of entertainment. Nick Villano will be there. Beer Baron will be there. Shorts Guy will be there. Possibly Scotty. I don't know. I'll definitely be there, so it's going to be a great time at American Whiskey, 51 Edison Place in Newark, New Jersey, across the street from Prudential Center. Just had to add that plug in there.
Yeah, of course. That's very exciting, Sam. I mean, a lot of hard work by a lot of people goes into that, but it's especially you and all those downloads. They're there for a reason. People enjoy our content, our programming, and I think the Devils being really good helps make people more interested. But, we got a long way to go.
Are you still fighting a cold, Vinny?
I kind of am a little bit. Do
you want me?
Up in your throat?
Do you want me? Here, I'm muting you right now. Why don't you? That's the cough button. So if you need a cough right now. Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right. I unmuted you now. Little trick.
Yeah, I'm all good. It builds up. It builds up. I'm at the tail end of it. I feel fine. It's Valentine's Day. A lot of love in the air. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Happy Devil's Valentine's Day. To all, I forgot about that. You like my little joke there on the text?
Oh, yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, everything's half off in the store. So if you haven't bought a card or candy or any flowers for your significant other after 6 o'clock, those stores are empty, and the half price tags go on like right on the spot as you're walking in. Just a little tip for anybody that forgot about Valentine's Day. Anyway, but it could be a Valentine's Day massacre, hopefully, in Columbus. But I think they're going to come out much better. I don't know. I just feel like, there's a little bit of layoff with the Devils and losing against the Wild. I don't feel like they lost. I think they just lost a skills competition in the end there, but they played well enough to at least get a point. I didn't think they played that badly on Saturday.
They didn't, and it was a tough time to draw the Minnesota Wild. They were coming off of, a little bit of a losing skid. They're fighting tooth and nail for a playoff spot. They're right there on the bubble in the Western Conference. Because of Parise and Suter getting bought out, they're hitting their cap this year. So they're having a little bit of they're like a good team but not a great team because of the cap thing. They had to get rid of Fiala, but they have the best farm team in the NHL. So, they'll be right back to being a Stanley Cup contender next year or the year after because they have Kirill the Thrill and all that.
Were they ranked number one? Were they ranked number one?
Yeah, they were ranked. They were number one by The Athletic, and the Devils were number two. And, they have Marco Rossi's like their number 3 prospect. That goes to show how deep they are. And, they have Jesper Wallstedt in the farm system. It's a very good Minnesota Wild organization that because of a couple cap issues, they're a little bit worse this year than they are last year when they didn't have that cap hit against them, the Parise and Suter contracts. And so they're dealing with it this year. Fiala's gone, but they'll spend some money this summer with that cap relief that they get, and they have a top farm system. The Wild, they played the Devils well, and it got to a shootout. I mean, that happens. It was the goal away. I think it was Matt Dumba who tied the game.
Yeah.
Late for the Wild against the Devils, and the Devils had a lead. Tomas Tatar, with Jack Hughes' absence, steps up and scores 2 goals. Those are the kinds of things you need. And without Jack Hughes, they're 1-0-1. So we can only hope that it continues. The positive vibes without him because we don't know where they'd be without him long term. But, you called this a trap game against Columbus. I would think it might be a trap game if Jack Hughes was playing, but since Jack Hughes isn't playing, I think it's probably going to be either the last or second to last game that he's not playing. They can't see it it can't be a trap game. The Devils, we don't know what they are without Jack Hughes. They could be just as bad as Columbus. So go out there and play as hard as you can, and we need more from Hischier and Bratt and Tatar when a guy like Hughes isn't playing.
Yeah, so in terms of Jack Hughes, Amanda Stein reporting that he was in practice, he was suited up. That's a good sign.
Yeah, and he came out at the end of practice yesterday, and then today he was the extra forward, I guess they were calling it. He wasn't taking part of line rushes or anything like that, which to me is nothing more than it's not an indication of his status injury-wise. It's an indication that he's not playing tonight. And honestly, why play Jack Hughes against the Columbus Blue Jackets? If you can't beat them without Jack Hughes, you barely deserve to go to the playoffs anyway. That Columbus team is bad, and they're benching one of their best defensemen for trade purposes. I mean, they're all in on the Connor Bedard sweepstakes. They're last place in the entire league. And the Devils better go out and at least I'm not going to say at least get a point. You better beat the Blue Jackets. I mean, what are we talking about here? And, get Jack Hughes ready to go for, I don't know if he'll play on Thursday against the St. Louis Blues, who have already declared the fact that they're sellers by, sending Vladimir Tarasenko over to the New York Rangers. And, we'll see if they trade Ryan O'Reilly or what becomes of Torrey Krug and all these guys that very well could be traded. But you got a big back-to-back weekend coming up against 2 teams fighting for playoff positioning with the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Winnipeg Jets. So happy that Jack Hughes was in practice, but I'm not sure exactly when the right time to bring him back. I know it'll be a huge boost when they do, though.
Yeah, whenever he's ready, he's ready. Kevin Weeks tweeting out again, just it seems like it's constantly every day that the Devils are in it for Timo Meier. What are your thoughts?
I'm very I don't want to say I'm bullish on Timo Meier. I think if the Devils added him, they would instantly increase their chances of winning a playoff series or 2. He is, a bona fide goal scorer. He can make plays. He's done most of it on a stinky San Jose Sharks team. He He wasn't one of the big pieces, a couple years ago when they were playing against the Golden Knights in the playoffs. He was more of a depth piece. And, when they had Logan Couture in his prime and Brent Burns and Joe Thornton and Joe Pavelski and Marlowe, that was a powerhouse Sharks team. Meyer stepped up when all those guys left, and he doesn't know what it's like to be part of a true winning Sharks team. So when he comes over to the Devils, I think being this, having a prominent role like he would on an elite team or a really good team, it'd be a little bit of an adjustment for him, but I think he can handle it. He's incredibly skilled. He's a countryman with Nico Hischier and Jonas Siegenthaler. I think he'd fit right in a lot of ways. He's young. He's young, but he's not so young where he's like fresh meat in the NHL. So, Kevin Weeks every day brings up the Devils with Timo Meier. Mike Rupp every day, Timo Meier, Devils. It's day 8, I think, of his little countdown that he's doing. As long as Nemec or Holtz don't get traded, I would be cool with the Devils admitting that making the playoffs this year is important, because I think it could help for the future, especially if you get a piece like Meier who you're able to lock up long term.
I'm so waiting for the day where both Luke Hughes and Nemec just that pairing on a power play potentially. I mean, I just can't wait for that day to happen. It can't come soon enough. I mean, it's just seeing the highlights, both players, where they are right now. It's like, I want it to happen, but I don't want to force it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Luke Hughes has looked even better in the second half. Pre-Christmas, he was working a lot on his defensive game. I mean, I went to a game against Wisconsin, and I saw him play live, and he scored a goal, but it was only his 3rd goal of the season, and you could tell he was putting a little extra emphasis on, learning the defensive side of the puck, and, the NHL was clearly on his mind with what he was playing, but it's since Christmas ended and since he got back from the World Juniors, Luke Hughes has looked like a different person. I mean, he had that 4-goal game. He had an overtime winner this last weekend. I mean, this kid has been on fire offensively over the last couple weeks. And, I think he's starting to get lukewarm, no pun intended, right in time. Right in time. Because I do think Michigan, they're primed for a deep run. They have Luke Hughes. They have Fantilli, who's going to be the number 2 overall pick. They obviously have Seamus Casey, who's outstanding. And they added Frank Nazar back, Chicago Blackhawks first-round pick. And he came in and scored right away. He's been outstanding, and he was a first-round pick for a reason. So it'll all depend on when Michigan's done. But Luke Hughes he's unreal. And people were ripping on his offensive numbers early, but it's been coming along lately.
Has there ever been a time in NCAA history that one of these players, after the season's over, jumps to the NHL level immediately and has an immediate impact, not only in the regular season but in the playoffs? Can you name one?
I can think of 2, and they both played for the Bruins.
Which players?
Torrey Krug, when his season with Michigan State ended, and he came in with the Bruins, and they made it all the way to the Stanley Cup final, and he was probably their best offensive defenseman in the playoffs, not named Zdeno Chara. I mean, he single-handedly torched the Rangers in a 5-game series.
Yeah.
And Charlie McAvoy.
Okay.
Charlie McAvoy, when he came in, was outstanding, and he stepped right into the playoffs and was great. Yeah. So,
okay. JP saying Makar.
Cale Makar, I'm trying to remember. Did he play with the Avalanche in the playoffs right away?
I don't remember. JP says yes. By the way, Vinny, I don't know if you noticed, but your camera feed froze.
Yeah, I know it froze, but you can hear me?
Oh, I can still hear you.
I don't understand this
technology, right?
Really bugging me today.
Do you want me to
Yeah,
take over?
Take a solo lap, and I'll come right back. I'll keep thinking of college defensemen.
Okay. All right. Well, are you going to log in?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you re-log in? YouTube Live. Yes, Ramona Rice says Vinny's face is frozen. Of course it is. Having technical difficulties on the live video feed. This is what happens when you go live and things don't go your way. I don't know. Vinny looks pretty handsome in that frozen picture there. Little Fireboy says Cal made his debut in the playoffs for the Avs. But did he have a huge impact? Which playoff series was that? Max says, Sam, do you like the proposal from Frank Saravalli, certified NHL matchmaker? Why don't you explain more, Max, on that? Which trade proposal are you talking about? Frank Saravalli. There's so many of them out there. Frank Saravalli, NHL insider. Vinny, I see you. You're looking good.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm looking at Cale Makar, and Cale Makar did play. He did play in the playoffs before ever playing an NHL regular season game. He played so he was 20 years old, and he played 10 games in the playoffs with Colorado in 18-19. And then he made his NHL debut in 19-20. So, yeah, I guess you could say he did. I think I remember him being good in the playoffs. I remember McAvoy and Krug being great. And Cale Makar's a tick better than McAvoy and significantly better than Krug, make no mistake about it. But, yeah, those are guys that definitely did. Adam Fox probably would have. I believe Adam Fox would have if he signed with the Hurricanes right out of college when his season at Harvard ended. But he wanted to do the whole free agency route, and then they traded his rights to Nashville, and Nashville ended up not signing him, and he went to the Rangers. And, so Adam Fox played a couple games, with who he was going to sign with. But I think he probably would have. But Luke Hughes is of the same ilk, right? Forwards are a little different. It seems like all the forwards that do it don't make the impact that we thought they would. And forwards a less difficult position to play than defense usually.
Yeah. Trying to think, did Brian Giunta play with the Devils right out of college?
Now we're going way back.
Yeah. I don't remember. I remember Zach Parise. Now my voice is going.
It's that time of year, Sam.
Yeah, I've been talking all day, so.
Well, Parise had the lockout year, right?
No.
03.
No. 03, 04. 03, 04. I remember Parise coming out of North Dakota, but I don't think he played. He was actually practicing with the team, but that's when Pat Burns had cancer, if you remember.
Yeah.
And they made it to the first round. They got bounced by the Flyers. But I think it was Parise that, was practicing with the team, but I don't think he got any time to play. Trying to think if there's ever been a collegiate player after their season ends jumps onto an NHL team and just absolutely rips it up.
Yeah, the only one that comes to mind, McAvoy was pretty good in a playoff series against the Ottawa Senators that year. And then from that point on, he was the Bruins' #1 defenseman. And then Krug, I remember Krug scored, it was a series against the Rangers. He played against the Leafs in the first round and the Penguins in the third round and the Hawks in the final. But in that one particular series against the Rangers, he was like the most dominant Bruins player.
Yeah. Well, Vinny, we're getting to that time. Predictions. There were already predictions in the YouTube Live prior. So I want to hear your predictions because Chris Margotti says 3-1 Devils win.
if the Devils don't beat the Blue Jackets, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah.
I'm going to be so mad if they don't beat the Blue Jackets. The Gavrikov is on the bench. Gaudreau's checked out. You know, the Line A is Line A. Like, they're got good players on that team. There's no doubt. They came into the season not expecting to suck. And they're the only team in the bottom 5 that came into this year that without Bedard on their mind.
Yeah.
And now that they're in this position, they're going to go all in on trying to get a franchise forward. But I think the Devils win this game 4-1.
4-1. Yeah, I don't think Columbus defensively is very good. I think they're going to score a couple goals. I'm saying 5-2 Devils. I'm going with Lil Fireboy prediction, 5-2 Devils. Ramona Rice says 5-1 Devils. Max is 5-3 Devils. Dave Singer says, hey, all. Joseph Lanham says 6-2 Devils. And Steve Engel's asking if it's a 7:30 p.m. Eastern start. I didn't even check.
It is.
It is? Oh, okay. All right. So, not bad. Steve Engel says 4-2 Devils. Dave Singer says 6-2 Devils. Looking on the Facebook Live as well. Seeing, let's see here, any predictions. 5-2 Devils, Daniel, in the Facebook Live. But all right. Well, Vinny, any last words before we go?
Yeah, I think he sure has a big night. He matches up well against this team. They're going to try to do what they can to him, but without Hughes, he's only got 1 point in the 2 games without Jack. So, time for him to step up a little bit offensively. He's been great defensively. Like, you know, the Devils don't win all these games that they've won without Hischier. Like, there's no doubt in my mind about it. He's not as flashy as Hughes, not as all-star-y, but equally as important. So I'm expecting a big night from him, actually.
All right. We'll be back after the game. Devils After Dark. Scotty, a Sirius XM, Liquid Metal, and I will recap the game that was. And I'm looking for something here, Vinny. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit later on Devils After Dark. Just want to remind everybody, February 25th, our 500,000 party as we crossed 500,000 downloads, 500,000 downloads at American Whiskey. February 25th, starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Lots of entertainment, lots of hoopla. Meet the podcast, celebrate over sangria, over playoff beard from Departed Souls. JP says, will it be live streamed? We're going to try to do this. And we're going to live stream the whole thing. But the issue we're going to have is music royalty rights because DJ Shelley will be at American Whiskey. So we're going to have to figure that part out. Maybe a live look-in, and sometimes we'll break in case special guests arise. Could it be Chico Resch? Could it be Bryce Salvador? Could it be anybody that could be walking by where we're just a on-the-spot interview? You can watch the live stream. We're going to try to do that from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. as well. Chris says pork roll burgers and Samu means a party. Yes, Taylor hamburgers will be served as well, off-the-menu items. We'll get all that information to you. And last but not least, Max says, Sam, the trade proposal today. Let me think about that, Max. Let me get back to you on that Frank Saravalli proposed trade. I don't know if that will work. But anyway, I don't like trading draft picks. That's just me, Vinny.
Very fair. The Devils are where they are because of draft picks.
Yeah. All right, I want to thank all those tuning in. We'll be back for Devils After Dark after the game. Enjoy the game, everybody. Max says sangria. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Vinny. Till next time, let's go Devils.